Yohomo, homo. Yohomo, homo.
Hello, everyone on the internet, and welcome to Yohomo's Questions with the Eliminated Queen from Canada's Drag Race. I am Phil, and I'm here with Armand.
Hello, hello, hello. Episode 3.
Episode 3, and we totally did not coordinate our yellow shirts today. It's a complete accident. But maybe it isn't, because please meet this week's queen, Anastarzia.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Hi.
Hi, Starzy.
Está muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Buenos dias, Starzia.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Oh, shit. Trilingual, you know? Thank you for matching with us this morning. We really appreciate that.
For sure, for sure.
Can you actually tell us quickly about this magical forest that you're in this morning? What's happening here?
Oh, I'm in Wonderland, can't you tell? I've just been eliminated, and this is the best place that I could come, Wonderland, because nothing makes sense here, like, at all. The fact,
Like, at all, period. Just
that part.
Is that what it kind of feels like at this point too? Now that it's out there and it exists, and now that you've been eliminated, is it sort of like, what the hell is happening?
No. I was asking that question from they called me and told me I was on the show. What the hell is happening? And so I think I'm way beyond the what the hell is happening phase. I'm on, is this shit still happening? Oh man. But it's been an absolutely amazing ride. Like, there are no words that you can use to sum up this experience, you know. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that not everyone gets to experience. So
Yeah. We're so glad to have seen you part of it and part of the first season. It's just like, it's so amazing. And so, okay, so let's jump in. We have some very serious questions for you.
Are we doing head first or feet first?
Head first.
Sideways.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, baby.
Okay, so we have to ask about the temperature of the studio, because in this last episode, it looked like everyone was fucking freezing.
That's what you saw? I was cold as a motherfucker. And I'm from the Bahamas, so any and everything is cold to me. And the fact that you saw us wrapped up could tell you we thought we were in Alaska.
I know, I'm pretty sure at one point we saw you in a robe with your winter coat over top of the flannel during choreography.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you noted it, because that was 4 long sleeve flannel smocks, a purple robe, and then my jacket on top. Yeah, I was cold.
So it was cold in there, for real.
For real.
I mean,
Oh, child, I wouldn't be walking around with all that bullshit on. If it was, no. I'm from the heat, but I don't love the heat. No.
speaking of winter looks, your first runway look,
Oh,
how did you not win?
give it to me.
Like this full puffer cape Montclair
Give it to me and don't stop.
that you made.
Uh-huh.
In
In a day.
Like, how long did you actually have to make it? And what kind of brought you the idea, like, as soon as you saw the fabric? Like, do you want to tell us about a little bit about the look? She's like, there's nothing to say.
Precisely.
Exactly, okay.
But when you have people that don't understand these things, what else can you expect? Child, listen. So let's level. So we were given these boxes. We didn't know what were in these boxes. And I wasn't too thrilled to be getting that red box, first and foremost. But when I did get it, I went into it and I saw what was there, and I was like, you know what? At first, I had no clue what to do with it. And then I remembered Montclair did this line of puffer
Mhm.
coats and puffer gowns. And Pharrell had recently graced the cover of a magazine in one. And I was like, oh, I'll make a puffer coat. And I was like, midway through it, I was like, Jermaine, this is really ambitious. Like, this is too ambitious for the time frame. You ain't got time to do this. And I was so ecstatic that I was able to pull it off. And you know what? It was a test of my sewing skills. You know, I've been sewing from 2012. I'm self-taught. And so anytime I make anything, I'm totally blown away because I'm like, bitch, you did that. And that puffer coat to have been swept to the side and said, oh, it's safe.
I mean, it didn't go unnoticed. I mean, even the rib trim at the bottom, like it was.
Yep. Immaculate detailing. And what I love most is that the who's who in the fashion industry messaged saying, impeccable job. Impeccable. So listen. That's all the validation I needed. That's all. It got swept aside on the show, but in the large scheme of things, it was noticed by the people who needed to notice it.
Do you still have it somewhere? Is it in the closet?
Oh, Charlie, it's right over there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right over there.
Amazing.
Yeah, Charlie, that's my baby.
We wanted to talk a little bit about the pageant world. So for folks that generally don't know, is there anything about the pageant world that people that would surprise people or really don't know about at all?
No, not really. I think for the most part, there may be some stereotypes involved with it. For instance, people call me stoic and lacking personality on the show and then they related it to the pageant world. That has absolutely nothing to do with the pageant world. That has everything to do with who I am as a human. At times, I don't want to smile. At times, I don't want to be friendly. I want to be left alone. So it had nothing to do with the pageant world. The pageant world is just as fun as everything else. When we hit that stage in pageantry, okay, we may be walking a certain way, but watch the rhythm in our walk. There is fun in it. It's not some take me to your leader kind of walk, So everything, a lot of what people think about pageants is true. It's just, there's some stigmas that's just fucking ridiculous.
And, with the pandemic right now, has the pageant world, is it all on pause right now? Like, have they done anything virtually or?
Unfortunately, everything is on hold. But what people have been doing is, so in the pageant world, there are categories: swimsuit, evening gown, talent, presentation. What some people have been doing is sponsoring online competitions. And they say like, post yourself in your favorite evening gown and you could win some money. And they would cash app it or PayPal it to you. I don't know how they vote, but that's the sort of pageantry that's been going on. Even though you're posting old clips of yourself. But other than that, in person, yeah, everything is on hold for now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll all come back soon on that.
I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm dying to not even compete, but just attend a pageant. Like I've been attending, competing, and judging pageants for the last 18 years. Wow. Legit. And so I miss it. I just want to go to one. Can I go to one? Just one?
Sure. Come over.
We have a house pageant, baby. Because that was the thing back in the day. People gather by each other and they say the category is bathroom realness. People run and grab towels and shower curtains and they make gowns and then they come out and present. That was a thing. And so, child, let's do it, honey. Let's do it.
Yes. I love that.
Go. There's something that people probably didn't know about pageants. So,
right?
Right? Let's talk about Toronto. And I guess, let's are there any drag queens that you were influenced by or paved the way for you personally as a drag queen?
Unfortunately, not in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because I've only been here 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
And so, as a Bahamian queen, a lot of my inspiration came from the American girls. Um, Tommy Ross, Naisha Dupree, Paris France, Jasmine Bonet. Those were the girls that kind of got me to fall in love with what we do. You know, they were, when I say creme de la creme, they were creme de la creme, and Yasmin Campbell Star. Those were the girls. Oh, cha. Those are the legends in our industry. And so, yeah, a lot of my inspiration came from the US.
That's like, that isn't that a bit of a thing too, not to like dwell on pageantry too much, but the world of pageants in the US is like, is it much more like an active world down there?
Is it why?
Just much more active and alive, thriving in the US than it is in Canada?
120%.
Yeah.
At any given weekend, you can catch a pageant in some state in the States. For sure, for sure. I remember we had this joke one point that in Atlanta, every weekend there's a pageant. Like, it was almost true, not every weekend, but very near to it. And that speaks to, and then you have Texas, New York, Florida. Like, these places are thriving with pageantry.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want to ask also about your life 6 years into Toronto as a drag queen here. What is it like as a drag queen of color in Toronto? We ask this to a lot of the queens that we know when we speak to them, because it's understood that it's a different thing, whether it's like bookings or places you're in, or, you know, like, tell us about being a Black queen in Toronto.
You know what? I can't speak to it very much because, again, I do all my drag in the States. I hop on a flight and I go to the States. And I think that's simply because I don't know what the scene is like here. I don't want to badmouth them, but I don't think it is as welcoming. I remember being a new queen here, trying to find my way, trying to get shows. It wasn't easy. So I guess whatever people are saying, it is accurate. I know places like Woody's, amazing, amazing. Dean those, I tip my hat to Dean those at Woody's. The Garage has also been always very welcoming. I worked closely with them when I was Miss Opulence, and what they did, Shada Hudson, she invited each of the girls competing for Miss Opulence to do a show there to help them make some sort of money. That was her way of giving back, you know. And of course, Buddies in Bad Time, when they were open, Katinka Couture, I love how diverse she kept her shows. And lastly, there was Al Convento Rico that I work with, because I am a former Miss Rico's, of course, duh, it's a pageant. I worked with Rico's for 2 years, and absolutely loved my time with them. Absolutely loved it. So that's as far as I could speak of. All of the other places. And I know, oh yes, Mojo's, they're great as well. Yeah, yes, hell yes.
You know then.
Hell yes. So, oh child, I know more than I thought. I guess it's just a select, you know what, Cruise and Tangos. Yeah, it's a hell no. It's a hell no. Yeah. I guess everywhere else has been amazing. Yeah.
No, that's good to know. And it's like, I hope that post-show and like post-COVID and all this bullshit, that now people are, obviously there's going to be this wild demand for you and to see you on these stages. So hopefully we get to like yank you out into Toronto a bit more and see you on these stages too.
And to be honest, after the show, I'm going to welcome being on Church Street. Okay. Honestly, because it now comes with the territory. These are the people that love and adore us. Hell yeah, I want to meet and touch them, because until this show, the Toronto scene had no clue who Anastarzia was. Episode 1, the entire Toronto was like, she lives in Toronto. We don't know her. So yeah, and it's the truth, you know. So I now welcome being a part of the Church Street and the Toronto community.
We're so excited. Yeah, the Village and beyond. Like we're
yeah, for sure. For sure.
I just want to touch on quickly also everything that's been happening since your story that you shared with everyone in the episode about the shooting in the Bahamas and coming here to Toronto, being welcomed here. And then now what's been really interesting to watch is the post story and the reaction from the Bahamas and folks. And like, I was reading that Twitter reactions and the one guy quoting the strange Bible quote about shooting people. I don't know that Bible. Do you know that Bible?
Child, I grew up in the church, and I can tell you, you want me to sit here and quote the Bible from the beginning to the end for you? I could go from Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 1, if you want me to, straight to Revelation. So, child, tell these people, go have a seat. I am unbothered by it all, and unlike you, I don't go reading that shit. I say to people, the best way to be unaffected by this stuff, not know it exists. I don't watch videos, I don't read comments, I don't read posts, I don't do any of it. And that's the way I'm sitting here so unbothered today. Sadly, some of the people in my country, you give them an opportunity and they will show you their true colors. And that's all it boils down to. So there was a large amount of people in my country saying, oh, he's lying. We don't do that. That doesn't happen here. Baby, I'm 38, and I'm telling you, my life as a gay Black person in the Bahamas wasn't easy. So don't do it. Just because you don't do it doesn't mean that others don't. Like, dude, you can't speak for an entire nation. And so them calling me liar, I'm grateful that those people that do these things came to the forefront and said, if he returns, we'll shoot him again. Thank you. Proof is in the pudding.
Right. Just put it out there. I think that's so brilliant. Like you did your job. You put it out there. You put the story out there. The reactions out there. Now it's just like people can now just like exactly.
And what was sad was there was this lady. She's an educator. She's molding the minds of tomorrow. And she posted, "I wish the shots were fatal." And I was like, "This is what we have in our schools teaching our children? Like, really? This is the mentality?" Child, may God be with that country.
Yep. Well, honestly, you have, even just by talking about this, it's so important and huge, and I'm sure you'll feel the effects of it for months now from what you've done. So, thank you.
For sure. And don't get me wrong, the love and the support that I've gotten after this story far outweighs the negativity. Far outweighs it. So, yeah, brush it off your shoulder.
Yeah, so glad to hear. Okay, our final question has to be the mirror. We're sitting on our couches, we're in suspense, and she turns around and there's no message on the mirror. Can you tell us what was going through your head?
Yeah, absolutely nothing was going through my head. I marched to the beat of my own drum, point blank, period. I do things my way, and I didn't feel like leaving a message. I think everything that I said on the runway was sufficient. Those queens that I left in the competition, they all know how I feel about them. This mirror message can't compound that any further. Point blank, period. Who gonna check me, boo?
Just mic drop. Anastarzia, Anaquway, you have been a legend. You are now a renewed legend. We're so
ma'am.
happy to you and to have this new spotlight on you. Thank you for talking with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope you both have a wonderful, stupendous day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, who gonna check you, boo?
Yohomo, brings us together as one. Live on the radio.